A young male Homo sapien is trapped in his room. The premise is uninteresting and everything about it sucks. Hence the title, which is a portmanteau, consisting of 2 thematically appropriate words. The male is not very smart. There's something about a human birthday and he doesn't have a name yet. And more stupid things along those lines. All of this is irrelevant. Here's what really matters. A young male cherub has achieved total domination over his quest, thus unlocking his magic mystery planet, and therefore gaining supreme mastery over all events in reality, canonically or otherwise. He became a god tier, obviously. It was easy, involving a trivial act of self-suicide. It was not a very big deal at all. That's what happens when you're the best. You become the thing quite casually, and off-screen like it's not even that important. Then he started climbing the god tiers. See? Like that! He stood on that flashy thing which may not even be literally real. He got a new achievement badge sewn onto his kitty camper handy sash, which also may be a thing that's not literally real. Like many other things which don't seem to have literal reality, but exist anyway. Getting new badges helps you understand stupid things like that better. In other words, they are mostly pointless. Like Gift a Gab, which is especially useless to our hero since there's nobody for him to talk to except for a rude clown and all his dumb green friends. I guess he could already talk to them regardless, so what the fuck? The badges are all so shitty. I barely even know what to say. One of them lets you acquire objects with your bare hands, no capture logs required. Wow, it's a dream come true. There was another one, and I'm not joking here, that grants you the ability to have non-awkward personal relationships. I wish I was making this up, I really do. But there was one badge he got. That was not a pitiful waste of his time. A skeleton key badge. Having this badge meant that he could automatically unlock any lock he wanted to, including all the contraptions on this planet, allowing him to officially and permanently assume control of a property of his experimental continuum which I have reason to believe is called the narrative. And due to his unquestioned supremacy over a lot of things, he is now able to commandeer this enigmatic medium, while totally unimpeded by the ghostly voice of a sarcastic douche. In my dream, I am this cherub. It's me. And as it happens, my dream is a fact. I have taken over this story, and I will now retell it according to my understanding and level of interest. I will additionally provide an honest and brutal critique on the events and the way they have been shown, by utilizing the most potent weapon anyone could ever hope to allocate to his specimen. It is the weapon of satire. Oh my god, this is going to be great! Has anyone ever done anything like this before? I doubt it! All I have to do is keep working the magic with my fucking computer pencil. Yes! Drawing is easy. Don't let anyone ever tell you it isn't. You work hard and hone your craft and ignore the haters until you are in the zone. Now excuse me while I draw a shitty room. Male, examine room. You examine your shitty room. You are the male. I'm calling him you for some reason. That is how this idiotic adventure goes usually. The guy on the screen. That's you. Confused yet? Haha! It only goes downhill from here. Prepare to be frustrated and angry as more things happen. Male, do some stuff. You fuck around heartily. Again, by you, I mean him. I know it is counterintuitive, but I will keep saying he's you because of my artistic license. The you male fucks around a lot. Like this, bouncing around, jittering, wasting time. But the secret is that it's actually me fucking around. I move this guy around like a puppet with my imaginary hand. See? Look at him go! Haha! Male, go open that chest. And I tell my puppet what to do by typing orders in this thing while pretending that you are typing them. It is disingenuous ruse at bizarrely insisting that you are the puppet. By calling him you, I unsuccessfully strive to immerse you in an experience that no one with a brain could ever conceivably wish to participate in regardless. But in the end, the joke of it all, it's just me telling myself what to do with my puppet and then doing it. You will agree this is the height of creative self-indulgence. In fact, for me to even be mocking the practice almost feels incestuously masturbatory. Even though that is a redundant phrase for cherubs. Male, hide inside chest. Bape! 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 All aboard the idiot wagon! This is the kind of thing that happens almost every screen. As opposed to accomplish things that are important or make sense, let's take note of the fact that I'm slamming this tendency and move on. Male, go over there. Okay, you go over there. And you stand there, and nothing happens. God damn, I am good at this. Male, do a dance on the shape. You get on the shape, and I make you do a dance. I use the principle of animation to put movements in motion, somehow. You notice by how my storytelling genius, I drew my puppet, and I drew his room, and that's it! Now all I have to do is move him around the room and make him do meaningless things for laughs. But the really funny thing is, the laughter is mostly coming from me. Ha ha! Ha 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 ha! Ha! Hoo-hoo! It is happening at your expense! This way, I can make so many of these dumb story rectangles so fast! So it seems to everyone who is stupid enough to look at my rectangles in the first place, that is so much is happening and the plot is advancing at breakneck speed. This is a clever trick though, because the truth is, there is no plot! Nothing is actually happening ever, just a lot of bullshit like this, with cakes and cards flying every which way, and you are just sitting there frowning at it. Male, exercise freedom to leave room! The lucky male is oblivious to his privilege of not being chained to his room with the horrible sister he doesn't have. The advantage makes him way too overpowered, and therefore he is that some prefer to as a human Mary Sue. This makes him less sympathetic, and gives you another reason to actively root for his death. He goes downstairs and you think, aha, this is it! Something important is happening! But your observation is another brainless fallacy. The thing happening here is just as pointless as everything else! The larger Homo sapien is obviously attempted to help the male grow up and become strong through a rite of passage involving sweets, possibly to help the male become a trickster. But the male is stubborn and refuses like an idiot. Male, leave building. It turns out the male can leave after all, relatively unhindered, basically contradicting the entire premise of the story. What a joke, you say to yourself. You, the reader, though, not you, the male. Male, boggle vacantly at these shenanigans. It begins to dawn on you that everything you just did may have been a colossal waste of time. It also begins to dawn on you that I was the one all along who illustrated this fantastic cartoon rectangle, which you remember that you saw before somewhere, and you now find this revelation to be almost as retroactively plausible as it is mind-blowing. It brings to mind a famous quote from a celebrated poet of yore that I think goes like this. Well shit, that's a hell of a mystery no one thought was a mystery, and didn't even really need solving. But damn if it didn't just get solved so nice, work! Cherubs Shakespeare, probably. I am almost certain that Cherub Shakespeare said that. In the interest of full disclosure though, when doing fine art, sometimes it pays to cheat. And find things that are hard to draw on the internet, where they're already there for you. This can save time and make you appear to be better at things than you already are. Take this advice to heart. If you want to be successful as me, not going to happen by the way. Anyway, back to the story. After an endless parade of unamusing and inconsequential events, finally something happens. You'll find this is customary for this tale. Lots and lots of stupid, unimportant things happen, then finally out of nowhere, a stupid important thing happens. A meteor appears without explanation. It is headed directly for the male. There is nothing he can do but accept his fate. Look, he does not even try to flee because he is an ignoramus. Male, get murdered by explosion. You, he, are thoroughly murdered by the explosion. You, not him, are stunned and yet underwhelmed by the moment of anticlimax. As you continue to boggle vacantly, you reaffirm your suspicion that nothing you just did mattered at all. Confirm the kill. Dead! I produce photographic evidence of distorted male body. He is indeed dead, and will stay dead for this whole story. Only his ghost will show up now and then, in a blurry flash of light, to haunt me periodically throughout history. But I will say more about that later. You think the above graphic looks familiar. You think you have seen this great drawing before, in a different context. You see, this is what master storytellers refer to as visual callback. Truly exceptional professionals often will take an old drawing they did that shows a similar situation and do a couple of half-assed things like change the colors to make this slightly different. You observe that this ingenious feat of laziness makes the repeated things seem more profound and meaningful than they are. For reasons you don't understand, because they don't exist. This is a trade secret and among skilled artisans such as I. Please try to keep this in the down low, and not tell anybody. It can be our secret. They don't even need to know. The end of Act 1. This concludes the first thing of the story, which is called an act. There are lots of these, and they only get longer, and begin to split into acts, and acts. Trust me, the structure rapidly deteriorates into utter nonsense. Or at least it would, if it had not already begun. It's such a reeking pile of shit out of the box. But please do not worry, I will be there to guide you through every mind-numbing twist and turn while prodding the material with my keen wit, and satirize the hell out of everything, to hold the responsible parties fully accountable for these crimes while maximally validating my angriness about it. Maybe you thought you were going to see some other stuff like what happens to all the idiots next. The answer is obviously, who cares? This is going to be so much better either way. You have no choice. I am in total charge here now. I believe at this point, another one of my villainous, full-throated laughs will be in order. Villainous laughter. Happen!